brahmanchari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तोत्र सत अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री राधा रमन अपीयरेंस डे की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shishu Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. So today is a special day. It's Vaishakh Purnim. It's also known as Buddha Purnim, and it's the appearance day of Shri Radha Raman and Shri Madhavendra Puri, Shri Nivas Acharya, and it's disappearance day of Parameshwari Prabhu. So there is lots of special things happening on this day, but before we get into that, we will take the first verse of chapter 31. We are starting a new chapter today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. Please chant. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. Mataji. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. śrī-bhagavān uvāca karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa jantur dehopapattaye striyāḥ praviṣṭa udaram puṁso retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ. Synonyms. śrī-bhagavān uvāca the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, karmaṇā, by the result of work, daiva-netreṇa, under the supervision of the Lord, jantuḥ, the living entity, deha, a body, upapattaye, for obtaining, striyāḥ, of a woman, praviṣṭa, enters, udaram, the womb, puṁsaḥ, of a man, retaḥ, of semen, kaṇa, a particle, āśrayaḥ, dwelling in. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Personality of Godhead said, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to the result of His work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. Purport. As stated in the last chapter, after suffering different kinds of hellish conditions, a man comes again to the human form of body. The same topic is continued in this chapter. In order to give a particular type of human form to a person who has already suffered hellish life, the soul is transferred to the semen of a man who is just suitable to become his father. During sexual intercourse, the soul is transferred through the semen of the father into the mother's womb in order to produce a particular type of body. This process is applicable to all embodied living entities, but it is especially mentioned for the man who was transferred to the Andha-tāmisra hell. After suffering there, when he who has had many types of hellish bodies, like those of dogs and hogs, is to come again to the human form, he is given the chance to take his birth in the same type of body from which he degraded himself to hell. Everything is done by the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Material nature supplies the body, but it does so under the direction of the Super Soul. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that a living entity is wandering in this material world on a chariot made by material nature. The Supreme Lord, as Super Soul, is always present with the individual soul. He directs material nature to supply a particular type of body to the individual soul according to the result of his work, and the material nature supplies it. Here, one word, retaḥ-kaṇāśrayaḥ, is very significant because it indicates that it is not the semen of the man that creates life within the womb of a woman. Rather, the living entity, the soul, takes shelter in a particle of semen and is then pushed into the womb of a woman. Then the body develops. There is no possibility of creating a living entity without the presence of the soul, simply by sexual intercourse. The materialistic theory that there is no soul and that a child is born simply by material combination of the sperm and ovum is not very feasible. It is unacceptable. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhayascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. I think I remember it is a favorite verse of one of our devotees, His Grace Sura Prabhu. I think this is the verse he used to quote often. Karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa. So this is a very popular verse, actually quoted often, because if we actually consider the 5 topics that are discussed by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, there is one topic we can do something about. All other topics, the 4 topics that are discussed, we cannot change anything about them. So there is Ishvara, there is Jiva, there is Prakriti, there is Kala, and there is Karma. All 4, we cannot do anything. Only thing we can change is Karma. Karmaṇā daiva-netreṇa. The living entity, here it's mentioned, due to their work, they are put in certain kind of bodily situations. And how it is done? The ingredients, they are supplied by Prakriti, material nature. How does Prakriti supply? Prakriti doesn't do anything on its own. You know, the creation begins by the glance of Mahavishnu. That's how creation starts. So it needs the touch of the Supreme for the creation to begin. Now, here in the purport also Srila Prabhupada is mentioning how this materialistic theory is not acceptable, that just by combination of sperm and ovum a child can be produced. We see like many people, they are not able to produce a child even though they may try so many things. So it's not just by combination of sperm and ovum that a living entity is born. It's the soul has to be present there. And how the soul enters certain womb, that's controlled by the deva, the divine supervision. That's how some people, even though they may have intercourse, but they are not able to produce children, whereas others, they are. And of course, that's not the only way. Those who have studied Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that's not the only way for living entities to take birth. Especially those who are in advanced consciousness, like if we remember how the Supreme Lord takes birth. When Krishna takes birth, there is no need of sexual intercourse. We can remember his birth, how he actually appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, and then he transferred himself to the mind of Devaki, and then he entered her womb. So there was no need of sexual intercourse. But for ordinary living entities, that's the way. And even actually if we consider certain animal species, there are certain animal species, they also produce children without sexual intercourse. I can't remember exactly, but I think I heard the peacock, they produce children without sexual intercourse. I don't know for detail, but I heard, maybe we could do some research on that. But there are many species like that. But just from that we can understand, someone in materialistic consciousness may think, oh, how can like Krishna just appear in someone's mind and then he can take birth. What to talk about Krishna? We can consider how Lord Shiva takes birth. He is son of Brahma. And there are so many other cases. If we remember the birth of who's the son of King Vena? Prithu. How did Prithu Maharaj take birth? So the sages, they have these mystic powers also. They can do things that modern science today cannot even imagine. So Prithu Maharaj, he was, the sages, they they gave him birth just by taking a bone from the leg of King Vena, who was his father, because King Vena was so demoniac and he was creating so much disturbance. So the sages got upset. They are like, we need to have some peace in the society. We cannot have a leader like this. So they actually killed him. But what they did, from his leg, they took a part of his leg and they brought King Prithu, and who is, we can study in śrī-bhagavān. He is actually a Shakti Avesh avatar of Lord Krishna, and who ruled over the earth in such an exemplary way, so everyone could live peacefully and grow spiritually, not just live, but grow spiritually. So those are the kind of, that's the kind of leaders people want, but because of the ignorance, we are not able to choose those kind of leaders, and then we find ourselves stuck. I like this example of chariot that's mentioned here, that how the living entity is riding on a chariot. There is actually a model of a vehicle here in the US. I think it's GM Motors. They makes this chariot. It's similar to like Chevy. And when I saw that, I was remembering this verse that talks about how the living entity is sitting on the chariot and he's thinking, I'm going for a great ride. But it's not always a great it's not always a great ride. There is a lot of difficulties. So in this chapter we will hear actually being stuck in the womb of a mother. It's not very comfortable situation. It's very uncomfortable situation for the soul. It's actually stuck in such a difficult space and is going through so many difficulties. But stuck in that position, the soul remembers his original position and it starts to offer prayers to the Supreme Lord to get this particular living entity out of this situation. And there are prayers, we will read this. I don't want to break the whole fun of the whole chapter, but we will hear there are beautiful prayers where the soul is praying, please help me get out of this situation, I'm stuck here. So generally it is seen, people remember God when they are in some difficult situation. Even the atheists, they time to time remember God. Even the enemies of God, greatest enemies, they talk about God when they are stuck in difficult situation. So we were hearing how about Rukmini's appearance. Even Jarasandha, he was talking spiritual philosophy to what's his name? Who was envious of Krishna? Shishupal. Shishupal was, it was arranged for Shishupal to marry Rukmini. But Jarasandha, he was giving him spiritual philosophy. You know, it is the time is favorable to the Yadus. So they are able to take Rukmini. And he is giving his own example that I was defeated by Krishna 17 times because time was not in my favor. But when time was in my favor, 18th time I won over Krishna. He didn't really won. Krishna got a love letter from Rukmini and he was like, man, I'll take care of this guy later. I have something more important to deal with here. So he left the battlefield. And what's the name he got? Ranachor. Usually you are called a coward if you leave the battlefield. Arjuna was trying to do that. And Krishna chastised him. You are an impotent. You are acting like an impotent. And Arjuna was like, what's happening here? So he realized what's going on. But Krishna, he got the name Ranachor Krishna. There is a temple in Gujarat of Ranachor Krishna. Very beautiful deity. So everything Krishna do is transcendental. But a person in materialistic consciousness, cannot appreciate it, and they cannot understand how it works. But someone who has made contact with Śrīmad-bhagavatam, they can understand these things. Vyasadeva, out of his great compassion, he put this Śrīmad-bhagavatam for who? For the residents of Kali Yuga. Before that, Śrīmad-bhagavatam was not put in writing. But seeing the future, Vyasadeva could see that these people, they have no memory, no strength. They cannot remember anything. They need a smartphone to even remember a prayer. So, Vyasadeva, he put Śrīmad-bhagavatam in writing. So people like us, they can study Śrīmad-bhagavatam and can understand, not be caught in this illusion, these materialistic theories that are projected all the time to bewilder living entities. So therefore, only thing we can change is our karma. That's the only thing we have control over. And even that, we do not have control over karma of others. We can only have control over karma of ourselves. Even that to a limited degree. Because if in Śrīmad-bhagavatam it is also mentioned, for each sense we have, there is a particular demigod who is controlling that sense. I guess for eyes it's Indra. So there is a different demigod who is controlling our sense. So we are not independent. We may think we are independent, we can act independently, but time to time we realize we are not independent. When someone is sick, no matter how strong a person you are lying in bed like, really desiring, how can I get out of this situation so I can move around. So same is the position of this living entity stuck in the womb of the mother. And when it's stuck, it's praying very hard. We see when we were in lockdown, COVID, everyone was stuck in their homes. You cannot go out. You cannot meet others. You are, what's the word? You are like grounded. There is no chance for you. In India, I watched some videos. They were like beating people. The police was like beating people if they see them outside. It was so bad. There are actually videos like they are beating them with sticks, and people are like really, they cannot move because they think, oh, I know this minister, I can go out and do this or that. But no, the police was really on the case. So same way, the Maya, the material illusory energy, Durga, she is beating us all the time. But what's our position? We take the beating and we say, oh, it's cool. I can take a little bit of beating, but after getting beaten up, I can go around and explore things. I have some freedom. That's the freedom we have. Again and again being kicked, and we are thinking, I'm living in Hawaii, it's beautiful weather, I have organic food here, fresh air, fresh water, everything is great, it's heavenly. I don't need to do anything, I don't need to meditate or remember God, or I don't need all these things. I have my girlfriend here and it's great, we are having fun. No, you can have fun for a little bit till the next pandemic hits hard, and then you will be grounded, and then you'll remember, oh my God, like I'm stuck now. So that's the nature of, that's how Prakriti controls living entities. Durga, she controls living entities through these three modes of material nature. But when we are sitting on the chariot, time to time, it gives us a little feel. No, I'm just observing you. You are actually driving the chariot. And then again, like when she feels like it's time to give this guy a little kick, then she gets on to this person's case. So only when, especially in Kali Yuga, when a living entity makes contact with a pure devotee, that's when they can become free from this illusion. They can get out of this karmic cycle. So today is very special day. It's Buddha Purnima, it's full moon. Many people, they go a little bit loco on the full moon. Crazy. I have one friend, he says he never go to work when it's full moon because everyone is crazy. and he does some like a building work, fixing work, so he has to deal with lot of people. And already people are disturbed when you can imagine like something is broken down in your house, there is water leak, or there is this or there is that, then the people are like panicking. And on full moon day, they are at their peak. They panic at their peak. So he doesn't go to work on full moon. But it actually says that someone who doesn't have a proper spiritual practice, because full moon is very high energy, so moon affects our mind. Okay, the deity of the mind is Chandradev, the moon. Now I remember. So the moon controls the mind, and that's why when it's full moon, the moon has its full effect over our minds. So if we don't have a deep meditation, if we are not remembering Krishna, then what will happen? We will go loco, and we will do crazy things. But devotees, they are very fortunate. What do? They say, Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. They remember Radha Raman. Who is Raman? Who gives pleasure to Radha. Radha Raman, that's why you get this name. Krishna likes to give pleasure, but Radha gets supreme pleasure when Krishna is happy. And when Krishna is happy, when he sees Radha, she is happy. So it's a competition of happiness. We want to be happy, but we are fighting with our partners all the time. And there is no happiness. But still we desire happiness. But here we see when it was Rukmini's appearance day, how many devotees were here? Chanting and dancing so nicely. And the deities looked so gorgeous, like you can just stare. I don't know how many partners, they can just stare at their partner for a long time. But if you stand before Rukmini Dwarkadish, you could just like not take your eyes off. So you can see looking at Krishna is like a festival for the eyes. Actually, there is a prayer in śrī-bhagavān. The gopis, they are saying that these eyelids, they are cursing Brahma. What kind of creator is this? He is very foolish creator. He don't know what's the purpose of eyes. He put eyelid, because when we are looking at face of Krishna, the eyelids, they are obstructing our seeing of Krishna. And we cannot see Krishna for the moments when the eyelids are blinking. So they are cursing. But what does a materialist say? Oh, Krishna is an imagination. It's like a mythology. You shouldn't get into these kind of cults. That's what a materialist will say. But a devotee, they cannot take their eyes off Krishna. I'll share, today is Madhavendra Puri's appearance day, also, along with Radharaman. So Madhavendra Puri, he was just traveling in Vrindavan, and he was chanting names of Krishna. He happened to get to Govardhan, and specifically in Govardhan, he happened to be at Govinda Kund. So he sat down and he started chanting names of Krishna. He's remembering Krishna. What happened? Krishna came and he asked him, what kind of fast are you doing? In our village, no one fast. Yesterday was Narsingha appearance day, everyone was fasting. So, and I know Sawas Prabhu was saying that, okay, so it's the fasting today. And it's like austere, it's difficult, it's tapasya. But devotees do it to please Krishna, to please the Lord. But here, Madhavendra Puri, he is fasting. Usually we would look for some prasad. But Madhavendra Puri, he doesn't even ask anyone for food. He is living like a python. It's called Ajagra Vrati or Ayachit Vrati. What a person in that Vrati does is, they do not ask anyone for food. It's like a python. The python just sits in one place. If the food comes by its own, they take it. If it doesn't, they just lie down there, doing nothing. So, Madhavendra Puri, he wasn't just lying down and doing nothing. He was chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. And Krishna comes. What does he do? He comes as a cowherd boy. Because Krishna knows these devotees, they are very smart. I cannot hide myself. They can recognize me very quickly. So he come as an ordinary cowherd boy. He had a stick in his hand. We can see in the picture here. And he's holding this pot of milk for him. He's like, Madhavendra Puri asks him, how did you know I am not eating, I am fasting? So Krishna was like, man, this guy is clever, I have to be careful here. Krishna was like, do you remember those ladies who were carrying pots on their head, the milk pots? They passed by here, they saw you, and you didn't ask them for any food. So they came and told me that there is this guru, this sannyasi. He is sitting there and just meditating, and he is not asking anyone for food. So kindly take this milk and give it to him. So Krishna told him that those ladies told me, so I am here. But he didn't want to stay too long in case Madhavendra Puri recognizes him. He was like, I have work to do. I have to go and take care of my cows. I am a cowherd boy. But you take this milk and drink it, please. And I will come back later and take this pot. So please drink the milk because I will come back to take the pot. And he left. But Madhavendra Puri, he actually lost his hunger looking at his face. He forgot he was hungry. He actually forgot he was hungry. And he's just looking and appreciating beautiful face. And he's actually wondering, who is this boy? He looks so beautiful. I cannot take my eyes off his face. And then as Krishna was leaving, suddenly he disappeared. And then it made him wonder even more. What kind of boy was this? He just disappeared from my vision suddenly. So he kept on chanting, and then at night he got a little tired, and then he got some little bit of sleep. He would sleep very less because he was chanting all the time. So he got a little sleep, and in the sleep what happened? He got a dream. In the dream what happens? In the dream Krishna comes again. He tells, hey, I'm the same boy who brought you the milk. I'm actually the lord of this area here. But look at me. I'm hiding here in the bushes now. And I've been waiting for you. When will Madhavendra Puri come and serve me? So that's Krishna. He don't need any service. But for a devotee, he takes such positions where he depends on the devotee. And he says, I'm waiting for you. When will you come and serve me? Take me out of these bushes and put me on the top of Govardhan hill. Worship me. Start the service. So that's what Madhavendra Puri did. He didn't have just one dream. Krishna came to him 3 times. After the first dream, Madhavendra Puri installed Gopal. His name is Gopal. So he installed Gopal on Govardhan and he started worship, and that's how the Annakut ceremony started. The same Annakut ceremony was started by Lord Krishna when he introduced worship of Govardhan hill instead of worshipping Indra for rain. So the residents in Braj, they were remembering this. Wow, this looks like the same Annakut ceremony that Lord Krishna started thousands of years ago. So a devotee can become so powerful by grace of Krishna. And becoming powerful, Madhavendra Puri was able to establish Gopal in one day. Ask Savas Prabhu how easy to organize festival in one day. Ask him if we can organize Rath Yatra in one day. Imagine. Madhavendra Puri, he installed Gopal, and so many people from different villages, when they saw the ceremony, what they were saying? I want to perform the ceremony too. Tomorrow let me do it. So this Annakut went on for months, because anyone who sees, they are like, I want to do it tomorrow. Please give me the chance for service. So devotees, they are looking for service opportunity. But when we are in materialistic consciousness, we become envious of Krishna, like Shishupal. And what do we want? We want to take Rukmini away from Krishna. We want Rukmini for ourselves. That's how Ravana, he wanted Sita for herself. Even his own wife told him, look, you are going the wrong way. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to lose everything. But still, he was so proud. He didn't understand. So same way, due to false ego, ahankara vimudatma, karta hamiti manyate. We think, I'm doing everything I'm doing. But when we get stuck in trouble, then we think, man, I didn't do this. This must be God. That's when we blame God. Like, why did this happen to me? I didn't do this. Hello? When everything was happening well in Hawaii, then where was God? God was not there in the picture. Then it was just fun time. Now it's the real show time. In LA they say, what time is it? It's show time. So when we get stuck, then we say, it's show time. I'm stuck. I need help. That's the condition of the living entity here. Stuck in the womb. He's praying, Krishna, please help. But Krishna is very kind. He is very compassionate. So the last point of this talk. There is one verse Madhavendra Puri says when he was leaving his body. Hey Dhira-lalita, is praying to Krishna that you are the Dhira-lalita. You are the master of helpless conditioned souls. So this verse actually, Lord Chaitanya, he was glorifying Madhavendra Puri to Nityananda Prabhu and other associates. He was saying, imagine the good fortune of Madhavendra Puri. Krishna coming to him and he's asking, when will you serve me? I don't know how many of us, we had Krishna come to us and say, hey, you are on the roster today, come on, I need you. But this Madhavendra Puri, Krishna is coming and saying, man, I've been waiting for you. I need your service. So please come. But not only that, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna coming in mood of Radha, what is he doing? He is saying, look at the good fortune of Madhavendra Puri. Krishna is coming to him again and again. And he's asking, please serve me. So Krishna is very kind. He's giving us a lot of opportunity. But what are we thinking? We are thinking, I'm very intelligent. I have a great job. I have so many responsibilities to take care. Krishna, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I don't have time for you. When we are grounded, then we say, Krishna, Dhira-lalita, please help me. So these are situation in material world. But just by remembering Madhavendra Puri and his followers, we can become free. Lord Chaitanya, he is saying that he is so fortunate. Krishna is coming to him again and again. He actually says there is one verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This verse, Hey Dhira-lalita, is actually spoken by Radharani. And he says only 3 people can understand this verse, what it means. It's Radharani herself who spoke the verse originally. It's myself, Lord Chaitanya, because he is in mood of Radha. And Madhavendra Puri. Why? Because Madhavendra Puri, if we look at the disciplic succession, is Madhavendra Puri who introduced this mood of Radha and Krishna. Before that, it was just Lakshmi Narayan worship. So this Madhurya Ras was introduced in Bhakti line by Madhavendra Puri. And who is Madhavendra Puri? He is actually spiritual master of Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri became spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. So that's the background. But it's a very special day. There is so many other great Vaishnavas who appear on this day. Srinivasa Acharya is one of the first book distributors who took these books around the world. And those books further, they are being distributed all around the world now by the great efforts of His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we are very fortunate. We have made contact with Srila Prabhupada, his books. So we can remember Madhavendra Puri, Shri Radha Raman on this day. It's also actually Buddha Purnim. So in Bhagavatam, I should say this, actually there is a great confusion about Buddha. There are many Buddhas. But many people, when they talk about Buddha, they think it's the prince Siddhartha. That's the Buddha. But he is not Lord Buddha, avatar of Krishna. So in 3rd chapter, in the 1st canto, Sukadeva Goswami, he is talking about different avatars. And then he says, Buddha, who is avatar in Kali Yuga, he is actually son of Anjana. Tata kalo sampravrate sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna jana suta kikateshu bhavishyati. In the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya. So Lord Buddha, he appeared little over 2600 years ago in Gaya, in Bodh Gaya, in Bihar. And this prince, Siddhartha, he actually attained enlightenment by practicing meditation at Bodh Gaya. He was born in Lumbini, which is in Nepal presently. And he is son of Maya and Shuddhodhan. But Lord Buddha is son of Anjana, and he was born in Gaya. He didn't have to meditate to become enlightened. He was already enlightened. But Prince Siddhartha, because he is not a Supreme Lord, he had to meditate to become enlightened. So we should know this difference. But if we don't study Śrīmad-bhagavatam, we don't know these things. So we are very fortunate. We have access to Śrīmad-bhagavatam, and especially on days like this, we can remember this. We can take more shelter of Śrīmad-bhagavatam and of all these great devotees of the Lord. So thank you very much. Shri Shri Radha Raman ki jai, Shri Madhvendra Puri ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthraj Śrīmad-bhagavatam ki jai.